welcome back to the trend. Happy New Year. First off and foremost. First and foremost, Happy New Year. Second of all, you might realize that yes, Rosa is back. She took mini hiatus because, you know, she's actually studying and like being studious and smart. But yeah, today she's back, so we actually get to do a commentary together. I know you missed her too.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
2025.
New year, new us. And this New Year's, me and Rosa were working on our resolutions. Like, I know you guys got your resolutions.
We've got our bingo charts ready. We've got a vision board ready.
She has a vision board. I don't have a vision board, but it was basically collaborative because, like, when she was working on it, I was giving my input, but then at the same time, she's like, I don't like that. Like, she would put it, and then she'd be like,
I don't think that's what I want for my 2025, actually.
So, like, actually it wasn't collaborative.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, today's trending topic is about how everything in media is manipulative. Like, literally everything. Anything you see, and not to sound like Shane Dawson, like a conspiracy theorist.
What's up, everybody?
The eyebrow kills me. Have you seen that video of Trisha being like, yes, he is, what did she say?
Oh, I don't know. It was
She's
like robot or
yes,
something like
and
that.
I saw him malfunction.
Yeah.
I actually love Trisha.
polyamory behind you.
So, but like, the reason I said Shane Dawson is because, like, I feel like it was him the first time I heard someone say, like, we only know what they want us to know.
And they shape stories for what they want. Like,
Yes.
for what goal they're trying to achieve completely.
So, like, anything you think, and I say this all the time where I'm like, oh, make your own decision, you know, do your own research and make your own decision, which is, like, half true, but then it's at the same time, it's like,
It's difficult too. Yeah, and I feel like that's the underlying truth when people say you don't know these people.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you don't know these people. Even for as many articles as you read, for as many things you look into, interviews and quotes, if you aren't in the middle of that story, I mean, think of even with your own friends and family, like, unless you're part of that story, you don't actually know what's going on.
No.
Let alone with celebrities. Like,
yeah, okay, like, what you, period, snaps, like, what you just said, because literally, I'm sure you guys have probably, you know, experienced a similar situation where, like, okay, for example, I was fighting with someone, and we had, like, a friend in the middle, right, and she told her side of the story, and then I told mine, and after I was done, my friend literally was like, wow, if you didn't tell me that, I fully would have thought that you were in the wrong. I fully would have thought that you were being, like, weird and, like, crazy. Let alone people with money who have PR teams who can hire lawyers.
like,
Like,
influence.
even lawyers, you think like, oh, if it was, you know, in the legal documents, then it's true. No, even lawyers know how to, like, manipulate situations.
Well, yeah.
Obviously, me acting like that's new information. Like, that's literally their job. Like, that's literally what you guys
Oh
do.
yeah, you can't trust lawyers. Big surprise.
Yeah, like, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, if you have money, it's that times 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then people, like, go around thinking, like, they know every side of the story. And, like, it's unrealistic. Sorry, I'm, like, talking so
It's
much.
okay.
Like, go ahead, please.
No, well, just to add on to, I feel like the reason we picked this topic was because of the whole Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively scenario situation that's going on. Anytime there's an update to the story, public opinion shifts. And at the end of the day, it's like, why do we care so much about these people? That's the thing. Personally, as someone that is, like, a very big fan of certain celebrities, mine, Beyonce and Ariana, finding out that they're doing shady shit genuinely would devastate me because of how much of an impact they've had on me. But I don't see Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively as people that have had super impactful careers. I think they've had they're very famous. They've had very long
but it's not
careers.
really like people are like, they changed my life. Whereas,
Right.
like, with Ariana and Beyonce and, like, all these singers, it feels like more like
Maybe
you have
music is different.
yeah,
in
you have,
general.
like, more of a connection to music than, like, an actor, because obviously actors, it's like they're playing a different part every however long,
Right.
so it's like you don't get to build that connection with, like, who they are as a person, maybe their character, but even then it's like not really. But yeah, no, that whole Justin situation and Blake situation, it's like you keep thinking, for example, when everyone hated Blake, which, like, honestly, the thing that I have to say about that is, like, because Justin was like, talking about making this whole scheme for the internet with the PR team to make them hate her. And yes, that did happen. Like, she did get dragged through the mud for the It Ends With Us movie, but I don't think that it had much to do with Justin. Like, when I saw her getting dragged, it was like, girl, your outfits, like, girl, her clips of her being rude, like, I'm sorry, you can't fake that. Like, you said that. It, like, stuff like that.
Or, like, how she was interpreting the movie and the character and stuff.
Yes.
Like, it felt like she blamed her reputation going down the drain, essentially, on Justin, when realistically it was of her own actions.
It might have been both, but, like, girl...
A big chunk of it was her own behavior.
Yes. Like, don't act like people were sitting here loving you and then he made everyone turn on you. That is not what happened.
Yeah, for
sure.
Like,
and that's the thing where I'm like, okay, yes, everything is manipulation when it comes to, like, hearsay, but then at the same time, if you said something in an interview, you said it. Like, you said it, and if people don't agree with you for saying that,
which,
sorry.
don't get me wrong, when this whole thing first happened with the movie, I fully was like, I like Justin Baldoni, I like his interviews, seems like a nice guy. Again, seems like. And then I remember at work when it came out that Blake was pressing her complaints. I heard it wasn't even like a full charge, just complaints. And people were saying that because she did that, that would excuse her from having to go under oath and saying certain things. So they're like, it's already shady in that way. But I remember my manager and one of my coworkers was just talking about how she's so unlikable, she's so insane, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? I actually don't know what happened on that set. I like Justin. And would I be shocked if he did something shady? No. Because at the end of the day, and I said the same thing to my manager and my coworkers, where I had said, the one thing that makes me think, listen, even if no one's necessarily the bad guy, maybe he didn't do the most, he wasn't a perfect guy all the time, was the way that the other cast members acted around them. If you remember how everyone was like, why are they all taking Blake's side and no one's really taking Justin's side, like, minus the crew, which I think that was also a valid critique. Granted, I have seen now Justin's counter argument.
Yeah.
Or what is it called? Press?
Yeah.
Thing. And yeah, I do understand where his frustrations are also coming from and how he also has a very valid take on the situation too.
The whole regarding their situation with the legality of it and all of it, for us, at the end of the day, it's hearsay. Like, for them, maybe it's not because they have witnesses, they have proof, they have alibis. But for us, it's literally just like he said, she said.
Seriously.
And then at the end of the day, who do you think's making that he said, she said? Their PR teams,
right, like,
who have their best interests, which as they should, because they're working for them. Why would they not? But then it's like, okay, you don't need to take that like it's, you know, set in stone that it's the truth that this is what happened. No.
Right, like I saw someone making a post, and again, this is where I don't like, I love being online, I love like the commentary and stuff on it and seeing other people's opinions, but I hate this whole thing of, I knew it, blah, 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 because I saw this video of this girl and she was talking about how everyone said I wasn't a girl's girl because I didn't believe Blake, and now look, Justin suing her, blah, 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 and it's like, all we've seen so far is the fact that he is doing it and some of his points. But I also think it doesn't negate that he might have unintentionally, even unconsciously, whatever, done something that did make her uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Do I think Blake Lively's innocent? No, I don't think any white woman is.
got the cameras. That was a joke, by the way.
That was a joke.
People are gonna be like, aren't you white? For reference, by the way, to give some more information. Sorry to cut you off, but like, I just need people to know we're both Middle Eastern. Like, we're sisters. That's not the thing. People be thinking we're friends. But... like, we are sisters. Get it right. We're funny. Middle Eastern. We're Iraqi. And if you know what Assyrian is, Google Assyrians. Like, we got so much history. But but yeah, so like, we're not white. Like, racially, we're white, but
okay, they got the point. Okay, so what? If I'm white, I'm coming for white people. And I just found out about that. What's her name? Susan. Whatever, that author you just told me.
Alice Sebold.
Alice Sebold.
I was telling her about Alice Sebold. If you don't know about it, look up Alice Sebold Lucky and look at Stephanie Suk covering it. Such a good story.
Terrible.
Not like such a good story, but I'm saying like.
But that's what happens when you believe white women blindly.
Yes.
However, again, and it's funny because it sounds like I'm contradicting the girl on TikTok, but I don't like people being like, I knew Justin would never do something like this, and I knew, and you guys said I wasn't a girl's girl, blah blah. It's like, babe, like, you still don't know what happened. You literally still don't know what happened.
Yeah, and it's like kind of similar to the whole, and this is also where like hindsight is 2020, because it's kind of similar to the whole Selena versus Hailey Bieber, Amber Heard versus Johnny. It's like, you don't know these people, and for a while everyone hated Hailey Bieber. Like, tell me you don't remember that. It was, I'm not gonna lie,
Dude,
I was a part of it. I'm not even gonna count. I was a part of it. I was like, Hailey just gives mean girl vibes, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, why do you think that was happening? Because we're all being manipulated. Does that mean she's actually a bad person? No, of course not. That's why so many people like her now. Same thing with Amber Heard and Johnny. It's like everyone was slandering her, saying this, all that, and the other, and then now, hindsight 2020, we're like, no, actually she was right. Actually, she was a victim.
And it's hard, right? Because sometimes things are rooted in truth, and I do think sometimes where there's smoke there's fire. However, even with the,
that was good.
Thank you.
That was a good use of that phrase.
Oh, thank you. Especially with the Hailey Bieber scenario, because it's hard when it's, again, as someone that's like been online for so long and like kept up with certain stories, it's like, I've heard certain scenarios and things with Hailey Bieber from before the whole Hailey Selena thing that happened, where it was like, yeah, that made her being a mean girl more believable.
Yeah.
Do I still think she is? I don't know. She could have changed. I haven't necessarily heard anything recently.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And even the fact that we had family members that really don't care, being like, this whole Selena thing, huh? Like, we love Selena. Selena from Disney, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Selena
the
from
Disney reputation will always give it to them.
Exactly.
Like, it's so serious.
And it's so funny how all it takes is one picture of Selena and Hailey together, and everyone just dropped it like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, it's so funny how we live in such a, not to sound corny, but looks-based society, that as soon as Selena gets with someone that's not conventionally attractive, all of a sudden she's under critique all over again. Same thing with the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing, where it's like, all it took was one bad, like, gotcha moment or something with that lawyer. I don't even remember her name, which I also don't like people with, sorry, quote-unquote, legitimate jobs feeding into the whole fame thing, and I felt like that lawyer really loved the fact that she was becoming famous.
Yes.
And it made me
so
cringe every time I
so
saw
cringy.
it. And I was like, girl, you're not the famous person here.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like she knew she was, like, eating Amber up. And I was like, can you do your job and just sit down? Like, I just couldn't fathom it. And, same thing. Like, okay, maybe Amber did do a lot of the stuff that came out. Does that mean Johnny did not ever do anything abusive? You're talking about a guy that's been famous since he was 16 with unlimited access to money, drugs, and fame. Like, are you joking me? Are you joking me?
Be so real.
Come on. Everyone even, like...
But the way they made that case so famous, and they made the documentary and the live stream and everything, like, they knew what they were doing. They were trying to manipulate all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I know this sound like we're giving such crazy, they didn't have to get to that. Like, they're manipulated, they've got bugs in all of us. But it's so true.
We've gotten to a point where it's hard to consume media from people that we think are morally unjust, when the reality is majority of people are morally unjust. And unless you're, like, excuse me, but a rapist, murderer, whatever, it's gonna be hard for you to find any type of media or person and enjoy consuming their content if you expect them to be a perfect person, because that's just not the reality.
So true.
Like, same thing with this Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively thing after the fact. And does that mean I'm never gonna watch another Blake Lively movie? No. Does that mean I'm gonna put her on a pedestal?
No. Like, Blake Lively, I'm sorry, it's one of those people, like, I don't care. Like, if she does a good job, I'm like, good job.
Right.
And if she was a victim, obviously, I feel bad for her. Like, people, I know the internet is stupid. We're not saying we don't feel bad for victims, but in this case, it genuinely is like, she doesn't need my sympathy. She has her family, she has her friends, she has her support team. As long as I'm not actively trying to give her hate. Anyways, let us know what you guys think down below. We love to chat, and if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.